Hey guys, so today we're going to be doing Mob from Mob Psycho 100, and we're actually going to start off with some super basics, so if you don't like it, go ahead and jump to the time on the screen. First, we're going to moisturize. I like to use this aloe based moisturizer. It's not super heavy, it doesn't clog my pores. Let it dry, and then we're going to go in with our primer. Yet again, I'm going in with my pore filling primer, and you want to press it into the parts of your face that you feel have the most texture to them. I have really big pores around my nose, so I like to push it right in there, then a little bit on my chin and right between my brows. Now, for him today, he's not super pale, so we're going to go ahead and mix these two foundations, which neither of them fit me, so both should be good. Now, I made the mistake of going in straight with a sponge. I wanted a more opaque finish, and I suggest going in with a brush for that first, then sponging it to make it look better. I went straight in with a sponge, and you'll see me regret my mistake a little bit farther down the video. Now we're going to go in and conceal. This concealer is not meant to brighten your face. A lot of people will say that concealer is only to brighten parts of your face. This one is even darker than my foundation. It's very yellow, so it blocks out some of the purple under my eyes. And I like to put it in places where I touch my face a lot. So I touch my nose a lot and I touch around my mouth. So I need to make sure those are really locked in place with this thick concealer. And I like to use the other side of my beauty blender, the little pointy side. You can get under your eyes better, and make sure to look up when you're blending under your eyes. Now, before you put on any powders, you always want to put on your creams. Now, I've never used this cream blush before. I didn't know if I liked it or not, so I essentially didn't put any on. But I wanted to show you that you put that on first if you wanted to use that before we put on our powder. Now, this is essentially baby powder with a little bit of skin tint to it, but it works wonderfully. It helps to set the face so it does not crinkle throughout the day. If you're at a con, you really want to powder because your face will naturally crinkle with the movement of the muscles and the skin in your face. It's awful and it'll get in your nose. Bless you. It looks a little cakey, and I highly suggest getting a setting spray. I have this really nice one. You do not need it. You can get the NYX one, you can get e.l.f. It all just helps to set it and melt it all into the face so you don't look cakey. I don't want to give him too much contour. His face is very round. He's a very round boy. So to make your face more round, if you want to add more color, which this does, just add it to the very, very backs of your cheekbones. Don't drag it down. Same thing with your forehead. I'm just adding this to give him a little more color. And I don't want to contour my nose, but I do want to give him a little button nose, so I'm putting a little line on there, and you just blend it out, makes your nose look a little bit more boop. Now for blush, also when you want a rounder face, you just put the blush on the apples of your cheeks. Alright, so this is actually our only color that we'll be going in with, so I'm choosing wisely. I chose a nice warm toned brown that's not too stark, and we're just going to go in right on the corner of the eye and then blend in towards the inner part of the eye, just in the crease. We're avoiding the lid completely. This is only to give your eye shape and depth so that when people look at you from a distance or you're taking a picture, they know where your eyes are. And they see that they pop a little bit more. I lied. We're going in with one inner corner highlight. It's not sparkly, it's actually just a brighter banana color, and as long as it's brighter than your skin tone, I suggest putting it on. Even he deserves a little highlight. I put a little bit on. It adds some life. He deserves it. He's a good kid. Alright, now we're going in with my pencil eyeliner. Same thing, we're going to go in right on the shelf underneath your lashes. I feel like it's not too stark as long as you're able to do this on your eye because it's a little uncomfortable. It helps to define the lash line without having to give him a full liner look, because sometimes that can be too heavy for your character. Now, his eyes are very low. The emphasis is on the bottom of his eyes, so I thought the best way to do that would be to put just one little line in the middle on the waterline. I'm not sure if it helped a lot, but to me, I think it was worth it. Now, I am going in with a felt tip. You do not need to do this. I'm not making a wing. I'm actually just making a little arch on the outer part of my eye that ends in a curve, just to outline my eyes a little bit better. It's something that I enjoy doing, but you do not need to do it. With some of my male cosplays, I like to go in with a deep red eyeliner underneath their eyes, especially if they're a pale character. Mob is not, and it especially gives a tired, almost villainous look sometimes, but I felt he needed a little bit of love on the bottom of the eye, so I took a less pigmented red shadow, and I'm just blending it a little bit. For the brows, I'm going in with an eyebrow pencil that I bought that is way too dark. It's almost black, which is perfect for him. Forgot to use chapstick, as we all do, and I'm going in with a little bit of a darker color than usual, just on the outside of the lips, and then I'll actually go in with a lighter color in the center. I just felt like it. You always want to put a darker color on the outside of your lips just to give them a little more shape, no matter who you're cosplaying as. You want to avoid concealer lips at all costs. It's not a good look. And I think we're good. And for our transformation today, I will be doing a combination of Mob at 100% and Mob at unknown percent. Now, with this, I took off all my eye makeup and I'm putting on Urban Decay Eye Primer, which is apparently some of the best. I got it as a sample, and let me tell you, oh my gosh, it kept my makeup on to the point where I couldn't take it off. We're gonna let that dry. For this makeup look, I wanted to do Mob at unknown percent, but that really is just a black and white drawn beautiful picture, and I am not one to do a lot of body paint, so I decided to combine the two. So instead I'm doing the vein tendrils of light coming from his eyes that are glowing white, and instead of a black and white based face, I'm doing the basic colors of the show that you can find in his 100% form, which are mostly pinks and blues that combine into a little bit of purple. So what I'm doing is following a reference photo of where the tendrils are going on his face. I'm starting with a very bright, vibrant magenta, and later on you'll see me move into a much brighter blue as well. It's always a good idea to use a reference photo, especially for something that you feel is as random as these lightning looking strikes along his face, but sometimes there is true artistry in what the original artist wanted you to see, and sometimes trying to randomize that doesn't work out. So using a reference photo, even just at the beginning, really helps out your final product. And you always want to drag your makeup down onto your neck, even when you're doing art like this. It gives a more cohesive flow to your piece. Now, back to my foundation mistakes. I did not put on my foundation thick enough, nor did I put any on my neck. So the pink is beginning to blend in with the pink and red tones in my skin, and there is no base on my neck. And I have a lot of natural coloration down there, a couple moles that really aren't best for drawing on, so learn from my mistakes. and put on a thick foundation if you're going to be doing art like this, especially if you're drawing this in a powder like I am. And now I'm going in where we primed our eyes before, and I'm going in with a bright white concealer, and my plan was to outline the lid of my eye in this white so that when I closed my eyes, it looked like my eyes were glowing white, like mobs do. But in the end, I actually learned that the white may not have been the best color choice. I actually think because I'm more fair-skinned, it would have looked better with a black base instead. And if you have a darker complexion, I think the white would have looked better for you. So take that as you will with your own personal experience. I'm now setting that white concealer with a white eyeshadow because everything on your eye will crease more readily than anything else on your face. Now I'm taking some gray eyeshadow and just blending that into the crease and around the eye. And I'm also taking some black just in the crease and the outer corner. I made a very daring move, and I'm using the pink that I used on my face and putting it on the very outside on the top near the brow. And I'm not sure what I'm doing. I'm thinking it's turning out. And after this, I'll actually put the blue underneath my eyes, the same blue that I used for the veins on the face. And I think it turned out okay. I think it really gave a more cohesive look from the very staccato look of the veins compared to the blended nature of the eyes. And you can slowly see my soul leaving my body as I'm not sure if I can save this makeup look. Now, this is where my soul came back into my body. I realized that to give anything more of a neon look, you draw a white line in the center of it. Now, my white eyeliner is completely running out, so this was an arduous process, but by the end you can see, I think it really added some personality to the neon stripes. As soon as I got my white eyeliner to work, I put most of the white emphasis right around the eye because that's the epicenter of all of these veins. I'm just touching up my eyeliner because when I put the white on, it really did cover up everything. It covered up any mascara, any liner that I did, so you always want to touch up after putting on such a thick, heavy layer. I'm also just adding a little bit of purple duochrome highlight just to add a little pizzazz. A wig and a couple deep breaths later, and we're all done. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments anything that you might have done differently with this final look, and please check out my other videos and click subscribe. Yeet.